Alrighty. I'm not going to tell any jokes this time around because the next guy's going to do it all for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Burton.
Do I have a microphone that works? Alright, I was worried I'd have to yell like knock knock jokes into the stage. So knock knock! It's not a joke, I'm just practicing for when I get locked out. Hi everyone, I'm Alex Burton. In case you won't be able to tell in a couple minutes, this is my first time doing stand-up. I remember I signed up on the website for the talent show under Where Is Your Talent? You know, I put stand-up. My friend's looking over my shoulder and he's going, oh, are you going to do stand-up comedy? I'm like, nah, I'm going to do stand-up tragedy. Just come up here and make everyone sad for a couple minutes. You know, I read an awesome statistics the other day that bullying is at its lowest level in grade schools that it's ever been, which is awesome. Like, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I never got bullied in grade school, which, you know, is a testament to the anti-bullying. Like, look at me. But look at, like, I would be the type of person to get bullied. And then I thought to myself, you know, actually I did get bullied, but it was in 3rd grade Sunday school. Like, Sunday school is just the weirdest place to get bullied because you're supposed to be nice to everyone. But I remember it was this girl, her name was Alyssa, and her nickname for me was Sumo. Like, you know, oh man, I'm fat, but then I thought about it, I'm also an athlete. Prime condition for my sport. You see, I figured out why Alyssa bullied me so much. And it was because she had a terrible last name. Now, I feel really bad for people with bad last names. Because, like, if you have a bad first name, I also feel bad, but, like, you know who to blame. It's your parents. At some point, they had your birth certificate, they asked your parents what your name wanted to be, and they said, you know, something as unique as you are, like Turtle or Waterfalls or Cindy. You know, like, but you can change your first name too. Like, my first name isn't Alex, it's actually William. But, you know, you just tell people what you want to be called, and then it's crazy, they do it. But people with a bad last name, you have to go back generations to figure out what went wrong there. Like, at some point, your ancestor was at Ellis Island, and the clerk asked him, are you sure you want your last name to be Fart Butts? And, you know, he was like, yeah, I'm Hans Fart Butts of Frankfurt, Germany, and I will carry on my proud last name. Then generations later, poor Turtle Fart Butts gets made fun of because of his name. And there's like one type of bad last name, which is just that you can't pronounce it. You know, the kind I'm talking about with the, or anything that ends in "owski." You know, and like you'll have a professor or teacher will be calling roll and he'll just butcher the name. Like you took a bunch of letters and put it in a blender. It's an alphabet soup. And then, you know, of the people with those last names, one kind will be like, you know, we'll try to correct them until they get it perfectly right. Like you don't pronounce the second J or the middle 2 E's, and they'll make them go over it until the professor gets it right. And then, you know, there's the other type who'll just listen, be like, yeah, I'm here. But I feel worse for the people with like just the gross, ugly last name. Like Alyssa was one of these people. Her last name was Pugh. Like, oh, that's not bad. Pew's in a church, Pew Research Center. No. It was Pugh. Like P or P. Like, as an 8-year-old, I could tell, everyone could tell that this was just a gross, ugly last name. And I, to be honest, felt bad for her. But I guess I get it, because my great-grandmother had kind of an off last name. Like, I love my grandmother. I'm a grandma's boy. But growing up, her maiden name was Seaman, S-E-A-M-E-N, but we all get the idea there. And, you know, I'm sure as a teenage girl, she was thinking to herself, you know, oh man, I'll marry some nice guy and take his last name. Oh, Alex, that's sexist. It was 1939. I'm positive she was thinking that. And, you know, she did. It was a young GI, my grandfather, handsome, named Robert. Except the only problem is that his last name was even more gross than hers was. It was literally gross. Gross. There's no way to get out of that. Like there's no interpretation that makes that not ugly. Yeah, but you know, my grandmother survived. She's had it for 70 years now. So you know, there's something to be said for people with bad last names. My last name, I'm pretty lucky. You know, Burton, B-U-R-T-O-N. I say that a lot because people ask me how to spell it for whatever reason. But, you know, like a snowboard company or Tim Burton and those creepy claymations or LeVar Burton of Reading Rainbow. Like, I'm pretty proud of my last name. Like, but I often think about, like, what if something had gone wrong in the universe and it would have been, like, not spelled that way? Or one letter off and it just becomes not a good last name, you know? Like, I could have been born William Alex Button. No one respects the name Button. It's too whimsical and silly. I'm sorry if anyone out there has the last name Button. You probably have bigger problems than some guy up here on stage making fun of your last name, because no one will ever respect it. But, and I mean, you know, people know how to pronounce Burton too. Like, it makes sense. Except for, I'm just thinking there was this one time that we had a substitute teacher in grade school. She has her list of names, you know, it's last name, first name, alphabetical, my name's at the top of the list, and she just looks at it and she goes, Bert Williams? Bert Williams? Think about it for a second, I'm like, oh, here. That's it, guys. Thank you very much and have a good night.